I love exploring the city. I always find something new and interesting in the streets and alleys. I like to take photos and videos of the urban scenery and share them online. That's why I was thrilled when I discovered an abandoned subway station near my apartment. It was hidden behind a graffiti-covered wall and a metal gate. I had to climb over the gate and squeeze through a small opening to get inside. The station was dark and dusty, but I could see the tracks and the platforms. It looked like it had been closed for decades. I wondered why it was never demolished or renovated. I decided to explore it further and see if I could find anything cool. I turned on the flashlight on my phone and walked along the tracks. After about half an hour, I reached the end of the line. There was a huge metal door that blocked the way. It had a sign that said, "Danger, do not enter." I was curious about what was behind the door, so I tried to open it. It was locked, but I noticed a small keypad next to it. I guessed that it was a code lock. I tried a few random numbers, but nothing worked. Then I remembered that I had seen some numbers spray painted on the wall near the entrance. Maybe they were the code. I took out my phone and checked the photos I had taken. Sure enough, there was a 4-digit number, 1973. I typed it in the keypad and heard a click. The door opened. I stepped inside and was shocked by what I saw. It was a fully furnished apartment with a living room, a kitchen, a bathroom, and a bedroom. It looked like someone was living there and had been for a long time. There were books, magazines, posters, and CDs from the 70s and 80s. There was a TV, a radio, a record player, and a phone. There was even a fridge, a stove, and a microwave. Everything was clean and tidy, as if someone had just left. I couldn't believe my eyes. Who was living here? And why? How did they get electricity and water? How did they survive without anyone knowing? I felt like I had stumbled upon a secret that no one else knew. I wanted to find out more, so I started to look around. I went to the bedroom and saw a bed, a closet, a dresser, and a nightstand. On the nightstand, there was a photo of a young couple. They looked happy and in love. They were wearing clothes from the 70s. I wondered if they were the ones who lived here. I picked up the photo and turned it over. There was a date written on the back, June 15th, 1973, the same year as the code. I felt a chill run down my spine. I heard a noise from the living room. It sounded like a door opening. I panicked. Someone was coming. I quickly put the photo back and ran to the metal door. I tried to open it, but it was locked. I realized that I had to enter the code again to get out. I fumbled with the keypad, but I couldn't remember the numbers. I looked at my phone, but it was dead. I had used up all the battery with the flashlight. I was trapped. I heard footsteps coming closer. I backed away from the door and looked for a place to hide. There was nowhere to go. The only option was the closet. I opened it and saw a bunch of clothes and shoes. I squeezed in and closed the door behind me. I hoped that whoever was coming wouldn't notice me. I heard the person enter the apartment. They turned on the lights and the TV. They walked around and did some chores. They hummed a tune that I didn't recognize. They sounded happy and relaxed. They didn't seem to notice anything out of place. They didn't check the bedroom or the closet. I stayed in the closet, holding my breath. I was scared and confused. Who was this person? And what were they doing here? How long had they been living here? And why? How did they get in and out of the station? What would they do if they found me? I had so many questions, but no answers. I waited for them to leave, but they didn't. They made dinner, ate, washed the dishes, and watched TV. They talked to someone on the phone, but I couldn't hear what they said. They laughed and joked. They seemed to have a normal life, except for the fact that they lived in a hidden apartment in an abandoned subway station. I started to feel hungry, thirsty, and tired. I wondered how long I could stay in the closet without being discovered. I wondered if anyone would miss me or look for me. I wondered if I would ever get out of here. I heard the person get up and go to the bathroom. I heard the water running. I thought that maybe this was my chance to escape. I opened the closet door and peeked outside. The bedroom was empty. The metal door was still locked. I had to enter the code. I tried to remember the numbers. 1973, June 15th, 1973. That was the date on the photo. Maybe that was the code. I ran to the keypad and typed in 0615. I heard a click. The door opened. I didn't hesitate. I ran out of the apartment and slammed the door behind me. I ran along the tracks, back to the entrance. I climbed over the gate and squeezed through the opening. I was out. I was free. I ran to the street and hailed a cab. I told the driver to take me home. I didn't look back. I didn't want to see the subway station ever again. I got home and collapsed on my couch. I was exhausted and shaken. I had just experienced the most terrifying and bizarre thing in my life. I had found a secret apartment in an abandoned subway station, and someone was living there. Who were they? And what was their story? I didn't know. And I didn't want to know. I just wanted to forget. but I couldn't forget. The image of the apartment and the person haunted me. The sound of their voice and their footsteps echoed in my ears. The photo of the couple and the date on the back nagged at my mind. I had so many questions, but no answers. I decided to do some research. I searched online for any information about the subway station and the apartment. I found nothing. I searched for any news or events that happened on June 15th, 1973. I found nothing. I searched for any missing persons or unsolved mysteries that matched the description of the couple. I found nothing. I was frustrated and confused. I felt like I had uncovered a secret that no one else knew, but I couldn't make sense of it. I wondered if I should go back to the station and try to talk to the person. Maybe they could explain everything. Maybe they could answer my questions, but I was too scared to go back. I was afraid of what I might find. I was afraid of what they might do. I was afraid of the truth, so I did nothing. I tried to move on with my life. I tried to forget about the apartment and the person. I tried to pretend that it never happened, but it did happen, and I can't forget. I am Maya, a journalist who is fascinated by the paranormal. I decide to investigate the rumors of a haunted highway in Nevada, where many truckers have reported seeing strange phenomena. I rent a car and drive along the Highway 50, also known as the loneliest road in America. I hope to find some evidence of the supernatural and write a compelling article about it. As I drive through the barren landscape, I feel a sense of isolation and dread. I tune into the CB radio and listen to the conversations of the truckers, hoping to hear something interesting. I hear a friendly voice of a trucker named Sam, who warns me about the dangers of the road. He tells me that he has seen things that he can't explain, such as a phantom truck that chases other drivers, a thick fog that engulfs the road, and ghostly figures that appear and disappear in the mist. He says that the road is cursed, and that many drivers have gone missing or gone mad on this stretch of highway. I am intrigued by Sam's stories and decide to follow him. I see his truck ahead of me, a shiny red rig with the name Rebel on its front bumper. I try to catch up with him, but he seems to be always one step ahead of me. I wonder if he is playing a game with me, or if he is trying to protect me from something. As the sun sets, the road becomes darker and more ominous. I notice a pair of headlights behind me, getting closer and closer. I look at my rearview mirror and see an old, rusty truck with the name Renegade on its front bumper. I remember Sam's story about the phantom truck and feel a surge of fear. I try to speed up, but the truck keeps pace with me. I hear a loud horn and see a dark figure in the driver's seat staring at me with malicious intent. I panic and try to contact Sam on the radio, but all I hear is static and distorted voices. I realize that I am alone on the road, with no one to help me. I wonder if Sam was ever real, or if he was just a figment of my imagination. I feel a cold sweat on my forehead and a tightness in my chest. I see a sign that says, "Entering Eureka County." I hope that I can find a town or a gas station where I can escape from the truck. But as I cross the county line, a fog rolls in, obscuring my vision. I can barely see the road ahead of me and the truck behind me. I hear whispers in the air, faint and eerie. I see shapes moving in the fog, twisted and grotesque. I feel like I am trapped in a nightmare and that the road will never end. I slam on the brakes, hoping to lose the truck. But as I do, I see a man standing in front of my car, wearing a cowboy hat and a leather jacket. He smiles at me and waves his hand. I recognize him as Sam, the friendly trucker. I feel a surge of relief and think that he has come to save me. But as I look closer, I see that his eyes are hollow and his smile is sinister. He says, "Welcome to Eureka, Maya. You're never leaving this place." I scream and try to reverse my car, but it is too late. The truck behind me rams into me, crushing my car. I feel a sharp pain, and then everything goes black. I loved spending my summers at my aunt's farm in the countryside. She was a kind and cheerful woman who always had something fun for me to do. I was a 10-year-old boy who lived in a big city, so I enjoyed the fresh air, the animals, the fields, and the pond. My aunt taught me how to ride a horse, how to milk a cow, how to bake a pie, and how to swim. She never let me wander off too far though. She said there were dangers in the woods that surrounded the farm, and that I should always stay close to her. I didn't mind. I trusted her, and I liked her company. But one night, I decided to sneak out and explore the woods by myself. I thought it would be an exciting adventure, like in the books I read. The woods were dark and quiet, but I had a flashlight and a map. I wanted to see the old well that my aunt told me stories about. the one that was supposed to be haunted by a ghost. I thought I knew the way, but I soon realized I was lost. I started to panic. I wished I had listened to my aunt. I heard strange noises. I saw shadows moving. I felt cold and alone. I curled up under a tree and hoped my aunt would find me. I was terrified. I felt a hand on my shoulder. I looked up and saw my aunt. I was so relieved. She smiled and took my hand gently. She said she was sorry for being late and that we should go back to the farm. We walked for a while, but something seemed wrong. Why wasn't she talking to me? Why wasn't she angry at me? Then I heard my aunt's voice shouting from behind me, "Danny, run!" I was shocked. I turned around and saw my aunt running towards me. I looked at the hand holding mine. It was not my aunt's hand. It was a pale and bony hand, with long nails and veins. I tried to pull away, but it was too strong. I heard a whisper in my ear, a voice that was not human. A chill ran down my spine. I heard a gunshot, very close by. My aunt had shot the thing. It let go. I ran as fast as I could. My aunt screamed, "Run to the right. Don't stop." I sobbed while running. I was scared. I felt sick. I fell many times, but I got up and kept running. Finally, I saw the familiar road. There I found my aunt's truck. It was open, so I jumped in and hid under the seat. After what seemed like forever, my aunt got in the truck, gasping for air, wounded and shaken. She gave me her phone and told me to call, then she passed out. Everything after that was a blur. My aunt was taken to a hospital. My parents were notified. I was questioned by the police about what attacked my aunt, but I couldn't speak, so I was sent home with my parents. After that, I never went back to the farm. My family never mentioned it. My aunt said she didn't remember what happened that night. I'm 22 now. I don't know if what I saw that night was real or just my imagination. For so long, it seemed like a nightmare, a story to tell around a campfire. That is, until last week when my aunt came to see me for the first time in a long time. We had lunch, went to a museum, then returned to my apartment. As I was getting ready to sleep, I got a text from my aunt saying she had to leave. She had something important to do. I lost signal,